Guys, it's Nija. Welcome back. You are about to watch a one-on-one coaching session I did with one of my beautiful clients, and she gave us permission to share this video and hope that it helps and inspire other women just like her who desire to create money doing what they love. So in this coaching session, I'm going over some of the worksheets from my ebook, Drip, Dream Revenue is Possible. If you guys are interested, you can get the ebook as well as the workbook that goes with it. The link is down below. And we are essentially talking about how she can create her dream brand, create an offer, and begin selling it to her audience so that she can have financial freedom and create the life that she loves. So if that sounds like something that you're into, go ahead and keep watching. Please take notes. I think you're going to get a lot out of it. And again, thank you to my beautiful client for allowing us to all share this video so we can all learn from her session. All right, guys, I hope you enjoy. Deja.
Hi, Nija. Thank you so much for sitting with me and speaking with me. I appreciate you.
Of course, of course. So I have a few ideas about what you want to chat about today because I received your session write-up. Let's start with, I want to ask you why we are here today, and then I also tell you a little bit of how our sessions go. So the purpose is to identify and have clarity on the goals, and then we're also going to try and get very precise in details with the actionable steps of what we can do to move towards them.
Okay.
Um, and that's essentially it. I'm going to ask you your intention and we'll get started from there. So I know you kind of already gave me an idea, but what made you want to book a coaching session today?
Um, I First of all, I just think you appeared spirit just like put you into my peripheral. And I just wanted to sit and talk with you because I feel like you're actually doing the steps of which I want to kind of see for myself, but in my own way. And so usually you have that distance from where you're starting and those people who already kind of like are out there and well off and kind of in it. But I feel like I kind of want that baby spoon fed. Like, I feel like I might be on the right track, but I want the confirmation and I want the know how. So yeah, and then my intention is just for this to really just change my life so that I could start living my dream life.
Okay, that's awesome and that's perfect. Okay, so let's start with your goal setting then.
Okay.
So, what would you say are maybe like one to three? If you have one main goal that you want to focus on, then you can give us one. But if you have a few, give us like one to three goals right now that you're currently like working on that we're going to
Okay.
together in this session.
Okay, so my number one goal right now is more so surface level. I want to be able to bring in a cumulative income of about $30,000 a month. That's my immediate goal. I feel like with that goal, I'll be able to do what I have to do. And then in that space, do what I enjoy doing. Because sometimes what they have to do is not what you necessarily enjoy. So it's like a money goal thing. And then in this season, I'm also working on femininity along with the self-love portion and truly embodying that and being able to manifest from that space. And then my third goal, I would say, is a self-discovery place for me. Like, I've always been busy, I've always been ambitious. I'm like, what's next? So being present and really, I know myself, but in a way of like just discovering, like, oh, you love jazz music. You didn't know that, girl. Enjoy that. Be in those spaces by yourself. Dedicate that time to yourself. So those are my big three.
Okay, this sounds good. So if I'm like reading it back to you, you have a financial goal of $30,000 income. You have the goal of self-love and tapping more into your femininity, right? And then
Yeah.
it does sound like a little bit of like a deeper self discovery too, or a little bit of like self exploration, bringing out this identity shift that you're pulling out of yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. And if you ever see me like looking down into the corner, I'm just taking notes so I can keep us on track.
No, you
So I want to start with because it seems like to me the biggest goal right now is that $30,000 income, and I really see that all the other identity shifts kind of can happen as a result of who you become through manifesting that money.
absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So I want to ask you the first question. Are you able to identify any roadblocks that you feel like stop you from hitting that $30,000?
Um, I think it is showing up being a reflection of that version of myself. I have been working really hard on that. And I feel like I've been working on mindset too. Like all of these things that I'm saying is a part of what I've been working on. I just know that it's just aligning. So it's showing up being that version of myself, the mindset, and really just getting out my own way. Like sometimes I feel like I don't know if perfectionism is it, but it's like I have the idea in my brain and I kind of miss the baby steps to getting there. So then I feel this over like in the past it has been like a overwhelm or overexertion, and then I hit a stump and then I have to get myself out the stump, and then it's kind of been like that roller coaster, if that makes sense.
Definitely. So let's bring that version then from the ethers and let's bring her down into the now. What does that $30,000 earner, what does that version of yourself look like? Can you describe her? What does she do?
um
What is her life like? Let's bring her down.
she for sure she doesn't have to work a active income, so that's employment for somebody else, in the aspect of like dedicating her time for money. That's number one. Like she's there because she chooses to be there, not because she has to be there. She gets up, she enjoys her life. Every day is a mini vacation. That doesn't have to look like going out and being on the yacht every day, but I don't have that like pressure or that control. Like you have to do this at this time. She has somebody who comes in and cooks for her from time to time because she has three children and it's her and her three children. So sometimes she doesn't want to have to be in the kitchen. And she has time to do the things that she enjoys. She's fit, she's healthy, she feeds her body nutritious foods. She gets to spend time with her children. She has an investment portfolio. Financial restraint is not a concern for her at all whatsoever. And she takes care of herself in a fashion of what she chooses. The version of me right now already has my kids in private school. So it's just more so growing into that life of luxury. People call it bougie, call it what you want. That's what I want. So that's it. Like, I don't want a life of lack. I know life, but yeah, I just enjoy myself doing it. All the good stuff.
I love it. Okay. And what do you see her doing for a living? What's her career? What's her work? What does she do to generate that income?
So she does what she loves, which is being in service to people in a healthy way. Healing is my thing. I think to the point to where I've been using it in a negative energy or not so proactive energy of like attracting people to myself that need healing, fixing, and me kind of having that savior's complex instead of doing it in a more healthy version. Like I'm the example of what I'm trying to bring into the world, but also just like being in spirit. That's my dream. Like if I could be in spirit all day, I'm good.
Love it. Okay, so it seems like her gift to the world is being of service and offering her medicine through
Mhm.
like healing modalities.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
beautiful. Okay, and now I have one last question before we get into the meat of the work.
Okay.
What do you feel like are some of your limiting beliefs that stop you from reaching this version of yourself?
What's came up for me more recently is not being seen. When I was doing some shadow work, my inner child was like, she was never seen before. I think the way that that has played in now is kind of not being seen, if that makes sense, even though I'm not like an introvert type of personality. Um, Being okay with taking baby steps and not being like, I can't explain it. It's like OCD over things, like not feeling like it has to be perfect as soon as you put it out and things have to look like this, like truly understanding that it comes with time and enjoying the moment as I go along. And I'm sure some mindset stuff is in there as well. And just truly believing that I could be that reflection of that billionaire self that I know that I'm capable of being.
Okay. So it seems like the biggest limiting belief sounds like not being seen and then dealing with that perfectionism, feeling like everything has to be perfect before you begin.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, sounds good. All right. So I know that you have already started doing some of the work because you received the drip ebook. So
I
tell
did.
me, where are you with this process? Like what are your thoughts? What are you working on right now? What's that look like?
So I still have to, I did an avatar, but it was not lengthy enough to the way that the book explains getting in detail. I still have to do that. But one of the things that I did grasp from just our group coachings and from your videos is that there should be a product base that I have in order to funnel people through. So right now that has been my heavy focus, is like making sure that I have products to put on the website so that when I do start doing my videos, I can have something to funnel those people to get something that is in service, right? Along with providing the service for free too. This is how you funnel to my paid services. So that's really literally where I am. I've made, I wouldn't say it's an ebook, but maybe a guide. I did some affirmation guides. I've completed that. I've done a planner. So right now I'm actually in the process of writing my ebook as well. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to kind of figure out what products I need to put in place, how much to charge, and things like that.
Perfect. All right, I think we're in a good spot to start workshopping together. So I'm going to do a screen share and I've created a few pages that are going to help us to answer those questions and fill in more of the blank. And then
Okay.
of course, at the end of this, I'm going to send you all these resource pages so you can finish it up on your own too.
Okay.
So I think we want to start with, let's start with the avatar page, right? So we know
Okay.
who we're talking to, and then we will know what we can offer them. So
Okay.
let's do that, and I will share my screen here. Perfect. And let me know when you can see my screen.
I can see it.
Perfect. Okay. So I know you mentioned slightly that you were working on, have you thought about, are you creating a new brand for yourself or a brand for yourself?
So this is a question of mine. I was getting stumped between that too. So I have what I've come to so far, and you can tell me if I'm like reaching or overthinking it, is I have myself. Like at first when I was trying to create my brand, it was more so of myself. I'm a mom of three. I do herbs. I have my garden. I have things that I feel like I want to share with women in particular, especially about mothering. Like, and then the version of me that is a teacher or a guide, what so have you. So through doing your worksheet, I came up with a brand of Ascension. And I know that we talked about it previously before, but it is literally to reflect. Like if my content can have a theme, it is a reflection. The cooking, my whole plant-based foods, I feel like that is who I am. Like my brand is me and branding myself as opposed to separating it and being reflective. Does that make sense? I hope that that's
Yeah, you can 100% be the brand. 1000%.
okay. Objective is to not tell people what to do, but to plant seeds for them to water it on their own, if that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Okay, so let's run through the sheet together. And do you have
Okay.
your pen and paper with you?
Of course I do. Yes.
Okay, she's a working woman. She's ready. All right,
Yeah.
so let's run through it together because we're gonna do this part quick. We're gonna do the avatar part quick, and then I want us to get to your offer creation. And
Okay.
then, of course, after the fact, you can like stew on it, fill it out, flesh it out some more. But I just want to make sure that we talk about this together.
Okay.
So, fast branding. You have your brand's name, so write it down and say it for me. We'll go through it together.
Ascension.
Ascension. Perfect. All right. Your niche. What are your content pillars?
So from what I understand is self-development. From my last question that I asked you, my niche is self-development. My pillars, I don't know. Reflection? I don't know.
Okay. So let's go back to the niche. So how
Okay.
would you describe your niche or what people know you for? I think
Um,
we're going to chat about it. It seems like you're in the self-development. Like, is
mhm.
your work to help people evolve either spiritually or emotionally or help them to grow on
Yes.
a personal level?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we can say that your niche is self-development. And of course,
Okay.
as you flesh it out and things change, all of this is living. So it always gets to change. As you evolve, your brand gets to evolve. Okay.
Okay.
So if self-development is your niche, what would you say is your content pillars? You can choose 3 to 4. This is essentially the main buckets of content that you would create. So for example, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's um, you know, lifestyle, showing the lifestyle. I know you mentioned like gardening and things like that, or motherhood, right? Maybe it's whatever. So think of your content buckets as what kind of content are you going to be creating for this brand?
Um, so a lot of my work right now has to do with inner work, self-love, in addition to that, reflective work, right? Like I'm the guide that helps you through the work, if I could make it make sense. So like I consider myself that person who kind of helps you through that process of the work to the other side. And then I can give you to somebody else when you get to that side to help you build on that. But that's kind of like where I'm at right now. And I have no idea what that looks like in content
That's okay.
pillars.
So we have one content bucket being inner work.
Okay.
Would you just or what else would you say is some of the content? I know you said like self-reflection, that could be a thing.
Okay. So inner work, um, and self-reflection is another one. Um, I do like tarot. My first like channel was supposed to be about tarot, but I think I was putting myself in a box. So the way that I want to extend that is like not love readings, but just more so reflective questions, like what blockages do I have, spirit, those type of things. So is tarot a content pillar?
Can be. And if you don't want to be in a box, I would even just say intuitive messages. Because
Oh,
that way you can use your cards if you want to, or you can
yeah.
just learn how to download today, right? It doesn't.
Ah, okay. Good stuff. So I have inner work, self-reflection, intuitive message, and I need one more, right?
You don't have to have another one, but if
Okay.
there are other things that you might talk about on the channel, then feel free to add another one.
Um,
Could be
I
could be.
I am looking to eventually, not right now, but eventually like have my meditating challenges, like do 30-day challenges or sound bowls or things like that. Yeah, eventually over time.
So maybe meditation would be one of the pillars.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay, write it down. So your 4 content pillars, which is so good because this all goes into self-development,
Okay.
work, self-reflection, intuitive message, and meditation.
Yep.
Okay, so we see how Ascension is starting to flesh out now, right? Like we know what our
Okay.
avatar is looking for when they come to our platform. This is what they're
Ah.
looking for. They know when they go to Ascension, they're looking for inner work, they're looking for self-reflection, intuitive messages, meditation. If it's ever not that, you know you were no longer fulfilling the desire of the avatar.
Oh, it's this.
Yes. All right, let's talk about mission. What is your
Okay.
purpose for showing up as Ascension?
Um, being in service to people. So my tattoo that I have that reflects gal, that is who I go by in my healing self. It's about the journey, not the destination. It will manifest. So I usually say like, I'm here to plant a seed in order for you to water it. That's literally all I'm here to do. I don't know how to put that in a mission. I think that is the mission.
Say it just like that. So I would write down my mission is being of service to others and to remind them that it's about the journey, not the destination. That's the mission.
Ah, okay. Being in service to others. Okay.
Perfect. And again, this is all living. So as you change and transform, any of this can be updated.
Okay.
All right. So what would you say is the problem that you're solving for your ideal avatar?
Um, I am solving the idea that the problems exist without you. I mean, the problems exist outside of you when the problems really exist within you.
Mm, okay. So helping them to address the internal problems.
Okay. Oh, I like this. Yes to the vision.
Yes, we're fleshing it out today.
Helping to address the internal problems, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then lastly, where do you see Ascension showing up? What platform? And for now, we can just choose one, but what is your platform of interest? And we're talking about social media.
I'm gonna say YouTube for right now, just to get my start, and TikTok because I heard that's like one of the best places to post. But right now, my main focus is YouTube. I want to start with one. I don't want to overwhelm myself.
Perfect. And you know what? YouTube is one of the best platforms to be on.
Okay.
One, of course, you can monetize your YouTube platform, and two, because of the longevity. So I noticed with the short form content platforms like Instagram, like TikTok, yes, the growing capability is there, but it keeps you on the hamster wheel, meaning that if you ever stop posting, you are no longer relevant. Whereas on YouTube, people go to YouTube for education. So you can create evergreen videos that people will come back and find for years and years to come. It'll always be relevant.
Evergreen videos. I love that. You said longevity, and what else was it that you said YouTube is good for?
Yeah, YouTube is good for longevity. It's good for monetization.
Monetization. Okay.
Mhm.
That was what I missed. Okay. Got it.
All right, let's jump down to defining your avatar. So now we know where you're going to show up. We're going to tap into who is the person that we're showing up for. So are we still doing okay?
Are we doing great?
Okay, perfect. So let's do it defining your avatar. So typically, your avatar is a past version of yourself or the version of yourself that you helped to overcome. You gained the knowledge, the wisdom, and insight, and now you can speak to helping this person. So if you were to choose a name for your avatar, and it's arbitrary, it doesn't matter what the name is, but if you could see your avatar in your name, what would you name them?
And her name
And
would be Anne.
perfect. All right. So I would write down Anne, and of course, I'm going to give you all this info or give you the sheet so you can like do this as well, but just jot it down. All right, let's describe Anne. Give us some demographics about her, maybe her age, where she lives, where she is in life.
If it's based on my past self, it would be religious upbringing, maybe feeling a little controlled by her religion, knowing that there is something else out there. And she is now at a place where she may have that understanding of God, the concept of God, but there is, you are God, you are an extension of God. So more so moving into her spirituality and what are the things that she can control to help her manifest this life that she wants to live or this woman that she wants to become.
Okay, perfect. So about how old is Anne? Where is she? How old is she? It can
I would
be
say she's about 24 to, I would say it's unlimited as far as progression upward wise, but I would say that she's about, when I started my journey, I was probably about 24, 23, after a breakup. And yeah, but I do see that there is a need even for older women, right? Like of not the millennial or the Gen Z generation, like those older women that also need to be nurtured in that way, because I do think that the older women struggle with that as well.
yeah, definitely. So we do want to
Okay.
be more definite and give her an age bracket.
Okay.
Even people who find you could be women in their 50s, in their 60s. However, the way you would speak to a woman in her 60s is different than how you would speak to a woman in her 24s, right?
This is
So
true.
it's important to give us a starting bracket so that when we're making our copy, when we start speaking to Anne, we're speaking directly to her. Doesn't mean we're cutting off the people who are 19 or the people who are 60,
Mhm.
but we just want to say, this is specifically who I'm talking to. And a crowd of people, if we shout Anne, we want Anne to turn her head. We want
Okay. So
specifically.
I would say about 25 to about 36.
Perfect. Okay. So are you taking notes on Anne?
I am.
Perfect. So I would write down Anna's between 24 or 25 to 36 or whatever age bracket you say she is.
Hmm.
And then as far as psychographics, I love that what you said. She had a religious upbringing. She's finding out, who she is in the world. What does God mean to her? She's tapping into her power. These are all some psychographic information about her. So it'll help us to find her, right? If we were to run ads, we need to know exactly who we're calling out to.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so let's talk about Anne's goals. What are some of Anne's goals?
Um, Anne wants to be a better version of herself. I'm writing this down. Anne wants to be a better version of herself. She wants more insights of what things she can do to help her create a constant flows of peace and bliss and joy. Um, that is what I think her goals are. I think it is not relying on external things to define her happiness and her being authentically true to herself.
Perfect. All right. And then what does Anne's media consumption look like? Is she on what platforms is she on? Does she read blog posts? Does she watch television or Netflix? So what does her media consumption look like?
Um, Anne is very focused, and I think it would be safe to say that I'm kind of using myself as the avatar. Um,
Perfect. Yeah.
she's pretty focused. She does not do a lot of YouTube, right? Because you get the education from YouTube, but is she scrolling on her phone all day, every day? Probably not. Like, I don't think that people who are constantly doing that have time to be reflective if it's like an addiction for you. And yeah, she might watch shows, like the Insecures, the Harlems, things like that. But is she like a reality TV fanatic? Probably not. I don't, yeah, probably not. She's very much so into building her own worlds, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's perfect. And again, the reason why we need to know where is Anne like on the internet is because when we start showing up, we want to be where Anne is, right? So if
Mm.
Anne's on YouTube, I want to be on YouTube because I'm trying to grab Anne.
Ah, okay, I get it.
So wherever Anne is, if Anne were on Instagram or on TikTok or wherever she would be, we want to be there too because we want to grab Anne. So if
Okay,
Anne's on YouTube, we want to write down that Anne uses YouTube.
okay.
Perfect.
So a question, I know you said some of the other things can change. Can your avatar change too? Because essentially I would think like as I transition into the TikToks and stuff like that, that my audience would also change too, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's always about who you're talking to, right? It's always about what are my products and services and where are the people who utilize these products and services. So
Okay.
I'm building out Anne. It's just so we can create offers that Anne would actually need and want.
Okay. Understood.
All right, so last few things. What is Anne's buying behavior? What kind of things does she spend money on? Does she spend money on personal development, on books, on fast food? What does she buy?
And buys personal development things. She is a person of spirit, or it's understanding that God is within her. So she may do things like buy candles or buy herbs or, buy cleanses. She's very into the self-work journals, maybe some healing services, stuff like that.
Perfect. Maybe Anne buys tarot decks or oracle cards.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay, yes, write down all this stuff. Again, the significance is we want to show up wherever Anne is showing up. So if
Okay.
we're talking about candles and journals and stuff on our platform, we know that Anne is into it.
Right.
All right, last few questions about Anne once you're done.
Okay, got it.
Okay, perfect. Last thing is Anne's painful problem. What is the painful problem that Anne currently has that she needs solved?
She is at a place where she is tired of um living this repetitive pattern um of just kind of not seeing what she knows she's deserving of and who she truly is in her higher self. So she's looking at what needs to be done in order for her to show up that better version.
Perfect. Okay, so the significance of the painful problem is when you start showing up on social media platforms, you want to not only hit Anne's pain point, but you want to twist the knife. Okay.
Hmm.
The reason why we want Anne to feel her pain, feel how miserable it is to be where she is because we are going to provide an offer that is the solution to her pain point.
Okay.
When you're creating content, you want to make sure you speak to Anne's pain. Like, doesn't it suck to be exactly where you are? Doesn't it suck to be stuck in this cycle? Doesn't it suck to not know who you are? Like, we're constantly twisting the knife because she's going to be like, oh my God, this is so painful. Does anybody have the solution to my problem? And that's when you come in with ascension.
Hmm. Okay. I like it.
Right. And lastly, Anne's desired results. In her perfect reality, what is the transformation? What does she really want and need?
Her desired results is to start seeing change within her life. So doing something different to get different results, better results. Um, so like whether that's, for example, one of my products are affirmations, speaking it to myself on a daily basis, I know that that will start to reprogram the subconscious. So naturally, I will attract these things to myself, things like that.
Okay. So maybe her desired result is to have a higher self perception or maybe more self esteem,
Okay.
maybe more personal clarity, maybe more direction in life.
Okay. More direction. Yeah. I like the clarity aspects. More direction, higher self, clarity. Okay.
Perfect. So I'm going to leave the homework with you and I'll give you a few more things to work on too. But
Okay.
with this information that you've gathered about Anne, I want you to write a story about Anne. And you're just literally just putting it all together. So it would sound something like Anne is a 24-year-old woman or 25-year-old woman. She grew up in blah, blah, blah. She had a religious upbringing. She desires to be a better version of herself and shows up on YouTube and likes to spend money on candles and personal development. So it's in the book Drip if you need to see how that avatar story is written out. But I just want you to create a story for your avatar. So now
Okay.
whenever you're creating your products and services, this is the person who you intend it for.
Understood. Okay. Got it. I'm doing that today. Okay.
Perfect. Okay, do you have any more questions about the avatar or fast branding?
No.
Okay, perfect. So now we're going to move into your products or your offering. So I'm going to give you these resources, but essentially, I want you to just brainstorm some product ideas. I know you already have some, so maybe you're past the brainstorming and now you're at like actually creating them. So
Mm-hmm.
we're step down to your offer creation checklist.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
So, or do we need to go back to what do you think a core product offer that Anne would want would be? Should we step back to that for a second?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, perfect. So, through Ascension, what would you describe, and you've already said it, but what would you describe as your medicine? What is the value that you bring to the people who watch you?
So I have one of the products that I want to come out with is a singing bowl session.
Wait.
Um,
Before we talk about the product or service, let's just talk about your gifts. What is your
okay.
gift? Package the gift.
Okay, package the gift. Providing healing through tarot. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
It could be. So like maybe it is providing healing through intuitive messages. That's a
Okay.
gift.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, helping people helping people be more reflective. So like one of the things that I played around with is your modern day philosopher. Like I think of myself as a woman, Socrates or Plato, where we're like posing all of these questions and there's women in a room and we're elaborating on those ideas. Like
What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Taurus.
A Taurus.
I
Okay.
got but I have an Aquarius ascendant. So that's what you're seeing right there. And my Jupiter is in the eighth house.
Okay, yeah, because I'm like, okay, philosopher. Where are we going
Yeah.
with this? Yeah.
So I'm like your modern day philosopher. That's what I think of it as, like a place where we can, put these ideas up and then have conversations, right? To be better versions of ourselves.
And
Um,
maybe to be your tagline, your modern day philosopher,
It
like
is, but that is what I was telling you about earlier with gal, right? So shouldn't I brand that as gal instead of ascension? Should I just put ascension in this like place where we can just be reflective? Or should I incorporate my personal self into I mean, I think it's natural is gonna come because I'm the person who's the face of it naturally. But I feel like with gal, I have so much more into that. Like I'm very mindful with my children and things like that. So I feel like it's just so much more that I can give outside of just being reflective as well, if that makes sense.
this. Why can't you be gal in Ascension?
I can, but how do I do that?
Okay, you embody her, right? If
Yeah,
so, Ascension is just the name of the brand, but gal is the personality, right? So
yeah,
like Nija Sym is the well, okay, this isn't a good example because my name is my brand, but like, okay, Dream Life Creation Company, right?
yeah.
I'm Nija Sym. Nija
Hmm.
Sym is not my real name. Like my name
Yeah,
is Nija, but Sim is like short for my middle name, right? So I am showing up as Nija Sim, but my company is Dream Life Creation Company, right?
okay,
So
okay.
you're showing up as Gal, you are the face of the brand Gal, but your
Hmm.
company is Ascension or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So you get to show up however you want to show up and introduce yourself as Gal if that's how you want to introduce, because you're not going to introduce yourself as Ascension. No, this is
yeah,
what we do.
yeah.
So it all meshes together. You don't have to separate it. And in fact, trying to have two different brands is going to confuse you and slow down your creation process.
Okay, okay,
So
okay.
just embody it all. Be
Okay.
Gal and let Gal provide her medicine through Ascension. Ascension is Gal's vehicle for showing up.
Okay, so I can still do the things that I love to do. It's just Ascension being that place where I put all of these things in. Okay,
Exactly.
that's a lot better. It gives me comfort. That
Yeah.
could, like, well, this is more ascension. This is gal. So, like, for example, like mindful cooking when I cook for my kids or when I make their smoothies, like I'll put tea in their smoothies. And I was like, oh, this would be really great content. But maybe this is just gal and not ascension, right?
Yeah, no, it's everything, right? So
Hmm.
like through you doing the cooking practice, ask yourself, what am I offering? Am I doing inner work? Like am I fueling myself internally and this is like helping me somehow? Am I being self-reflective? Like am I being mindful of what I'm putting into my body, right? So it's not
Hmm.
really an intuitive message, but like is me cooking in this way a meditation? Like it all gets to flow and gel together.
Okay.
And
Understood.
if you
Understood.
don't know how to make it gel together, just reframe it, right? Like Gal is going to do a special tea tincture today. How can we frame it to make it like how to be meditative while you're making your tea? These are some journaling
Ah,
questions that you can ask yourself during your tea time, right? So you just
ah.
flesh it out based on what your content pillars are. You still get to be everything you want to be, but we've just got to cater it to your audience. Like this is what they're showing up for.
I get it. I get it. So that's like if I wanted to do a reel on or a short, YouTube short, and I'm cooking, I could put that on mute, like the cooking sounds, but I can voice over something reflective. Understood. Got it. Got
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
Got it. Got it.
now
Got it.
it's
Got it. Got
coming.
it. Got it.
It's coming. It's all coming.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Let's get into this. Oh, wait, no, we were telling me your gift. Okay, so I heard that healing through intuitive messages is your gift. I was hearing you helping people to be more reflective is a gift of yours.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm writing all these things down as your gifts. So you write them down too as your gifts. You always want to package your gifts. It is going to
Okay.
be the easiest way for you to make money because you are already naturally good at these things, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So again, when you were talking about like you want making money to be fun, you don't want to feel like you're doing something because you have to.
Yeah.
Utilizing your gifts and packaging your gifts ensures that you're doing what you're naturally good at. It gets to say fun, it's your feminine play. This is
Yeah.
what the gift.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So we know what the gift is. Now we're
Mhm.
gonna package the gift.
Okay.
So we can skip product name for now. Let's flesh it out a little bit. But what is a so let's go back to the avatar.
Mhm.
What is a problem that your avatar Anne has? Because now we want to create the solution to the avatar's problem. So what is a problem that Anne has?
She's tired of being in the same pattern and she wants to know what she can do, what she can incorporate to show up as her higher self. She's tired of getting the same results.
Perfect. Okay, so Anne is stuck in a cycle. This is her painful problem. How can you use your gifts to be the solution to her problem?
We can do self-love affirmations, um, money affirmations that we can kind of package together in my own insight and providing her with worksheets to utilize those affirmations.
Okay.
That's one. Um, Sound bowl sessions is another to help with like the rooting and the chakras. Also what I've came up with is identity shifting. So for me, like I've identity shift as far as my career. And I'm currently at a place of identity shifting in the type of man that I want to see come to me. But I have successfully identity shift myself from a lower income paying job to going from renting to buying a home and the things that I did in place to help me get there. So coming out with like tips and tricks on how to identity shift or worksheets or things that I've done as far as my meditation is concerned.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Mhm.
How do you want to deliver the solution? So in the book Drip, we talk about like you could make an ebook, you can create a course, you could do a coaching offer. So how do you want to deliver your solution to Anne?
It will probably
But let's get a core product offer together. So what is the core product of how you want to deliver this solution to Anne?
I would say I don't want to do a course. My time is limited. So anything that I do, I want to be able to create it and then put my hands off of it. So I
Okay,
think a product would be better. Right now I have in mind the ebook. That is what I have in place.
perfect. Okay, so write that down that you are delivering your solution to Anne through the ebook.
Hmm.
Perfect. So we're gonna skip down to this page. Let me see this one. This one. Perfect. Okay. So let's fill out this offer creation checklist together. So
Okay.
if you flip to a fresh page.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll swing back around to the offer name and the offer price,
Okay.
but we know who it is for. So instead of saying this offer is for Anne, write down like describe Anne when we say who is it for, and you just kind of did, but who is this ebook for?
A woman who is stuck in a repetitive cycle.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right. What problem does this ebook solve?
How to identity shift outside of that problem,
We got to be a little bit more specific. So,
and some tools that could help them get there.
okay, so if you're saying that the problem is that she's or that the reader is feeling stuck in a cycle, then
Mhm.
it would make sense that the solution to that problem would be that they're going to gain clarity to get out of that cycle, or they're going to be able to break free from their cycle, right?
Okay. Gain clarity to break free from the
Yeah.
cycle.
And
Okay.
that sounds even more powerful than, they're gonna figure out, like, no, when you read this ebook, you are gonna learn how to break free
Of
from
the cycle.
constraints or whatever.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So, what are the deliverables? What is the person going to get with this ebook? Is it just the ebook? Can you think of any bonuses that they're going to receive when you give them this product?
What do you mean by that? What is an example of that?
Yeah, okay. So if you say, okay, this ebook is 20 bucks, they're like, okay, cool, I'm gonna get the ebook for 20 bucks. The psychology of a buyer is to say, is this valuable enough, right? Is this valuable enough for my $20? However, people like bonuses, right? So
Mhm.
if you say you're going to get the ebook that's going to give you this transformation, a bonus could be I'm also throwing in the audiobook. I'm also throwing in affirmation cards. I'm also throwing in a meditation. So we're going to give them the offer, but it's like, what else can you give them to make it irresistible? Like, you cannot say no. You would be a fool to say no to this, because you're not just getting the ebook, you're getting these tools, these resources, right? So the
So,
ebook is the cake. We want to
mhm.
give them icing on the cake and make it pretty.
um, so the bonus would be self-affirmations and all the inner work worksheets that are in place of that as well.
Perfect. So I would say you're going to get the ebook, but you're also going to get an inner work workbook. Like, we can turn it into a workbook, right? They're
Okay.
just just make it a PDF, and now they've got a workbook too.
Okay.
So the bonus, you said the affirmations. I would say like affirmation cards. Like, again, it can be on a worksheet paper,
Mhm.
but like, call it something cool. So they're like, oh my God, I'm getting that too. Wow.
Okay. Affirmation cards.
Perfect. Yeah.
And so when I'm doing it, do I get like if it's on a worksheet, am I putting it one on each card? Like, is it going to look like a card on the digital
Yeah.
product?
So like, you use Canva?
I do.
Okay, perfect. I would just like block it off like it's an X and
Mhm.
write one affirmation here, one affirmation here, one affirmation here, one affirmation here. If they want to print it out and cut it up, they can, but it's an affirmation,
Ah,
right?
okay.
It just makes
Understood.
it sound a little more special than just. Um,
Yes.
okay, something else you can add, and you don't have to like decide on these things, but I'm just saying if you're gonna give them an ebook, like really make it something special, right? You
So
can.
those worksheets, can I include it in the pages of the ebook, or should I just do my passages and towards the end provide the worksheets?
So what I would do, and what I'm actually doing now for drip. So okay, you know how I put out the ebook drip and it was the ebook and I added pages within the ebook. What
Mhm.
I'm doing now is adding so you get the ebook and now I'm giving you the drip workbook too. And everyone who's bought drip, I'm gonna give them this surprise bonus add-on. So you're gonna get it too. But this right here that you're seeing is the drip workbook
Ah,
pages that
okay.
we're going through. I
So,
literally just took the pages out of the book that I created. So you can make your workbook, add the pages in there, but then create a separate PDF with just the pages. And now they're like, oh, we're getting a special bonus with this.
okay. So I could do that too. Okay.
And remember, because going back to that part of you that says it all needs to be perfect before I can put it out, you can put out the ebook, and then people are going to be so excited to be like, oh my God, she's sending us a bonus, like whenever it's made, right?
Mhm,
So if you want to just focus on making the ebook, focus on making the ebook. But
mhm.
then as time progresses, you can add more bonuses and more bonuses. You can make a meditation and send it to the people who have already bought, and they're going to be like, oh
Wow.
my God, Phaedra's still giving us value. This purchase is still like, I'm still reaping the benefits of this purchase.
Yeah. Okay. Understood.
Okay, so those are bonuses, right? You have your offer, which is the ebook, and then just maybe think about like three bonuses you can throw in with the ebook.
Okay.
So now let's jump down to the customer's desired outcome. When they get this book and all of the bonuses, what is the desired outcome? What are they hoping will happen as a result of getting their hands on this product?
Um, they'll have what we said before, they'll have the clarity to be able to break free from that old cycle, and tips and ideas and know-hows and how-tos to implement that in a realistic way.
Okay, so we want to make it seem even juicier. So I want
Okay.
to ask, back when you were Anne, still trying to figure things out, what was the big thing that you wanted? What was the main thing? What made the biggest difference for you?
Um, I think for me, it was the true understanding of saying, hey, this is my desired result, but I am still operating in this self. And I understand that my programming is what keeps me here. And once I change my programming, I can go here. So I think for me, the know-how, like that's just how my brain works. I have to have the know-how and the understanding. Like you can tell me something all day, and that's why I feel people still do things that they're not supposed to do because they don't have that clear understanding. So I think for me, once I had that clear understanding, I was literally able to shift my life because I know that I'm this way due to what I've been doing and the repetitive steps that I've been taking and mindset, right? So yeah, you will, I think that that's key. You will now have the mindset. After reading this book, you will now have the mindset or the idea of the mindset that you need to have to become that version of yourself.
Okay, perfect. So to condense it and to make it juicy, I would say something like to upgrade your internal programming to shift your life. This
Okay.
is to upgrade your internal programming so it has that mindset piece,
Okay.
and then it's going to help you to shift your life. If you're stuck in a cycle, you need that shift. This will get you unstuck.
Okay. To upgrade the internal programming to shift your life.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Like for me, for example, when I shifted my job to six figures, one of the things that I did was I had to become reflective. What is my current self doing? My current self is sitting at the TV with my laptop, watching TV. I don't meditate in the morning. Well, when I started meditating and reading, it allowed me to become more internal and I stopped watching TV and working at the same time. I started sitting at the table. So I started shifting the identity of my old self. And with time of practice, I attracted a six-figure job.
Perfect. Okay. So, how is this offer the solution to their problem?
It's the solution because it's going to help them understand one, the programming of where they currently are, and two, help them shift into the new programming that they need to become.
Perfect. Okay. And then, like, when you're wording it, of course, with all this, like, make it saucy. That's like the power of copywriting. So you can say, like, they're going to have a profound awakening of where they are and be able to quantum leap into their next timeline or something like that. Like just make it sound juicy.
Okay, so play on words. Play on
Yeah.
words. Okay.
Okay. Last thing I want to, or last two things. How do you want to distribute your offer? Where is the sales terminal? So have you thought about a platform that you want to sell your offer on?
Spotify.
On Spotify. It's a like
I
a
mean, not Spotify, Shopify.
perfect. We love Shopify. Okay, so write down Shopify because as soon as your offer is ready, we know exactly where to put it. And this is a masculine structure, meaning that once you set it up, you can set it and forget it. We
Okay.
love masculine structures. Okay, and then lastly, how are you going to share your offer with your ideal customer? What social media platform? And you kind of already said it, but I'll let you reiterate.
YouTube.
Perfect. Yeah. You're going to show up on YouTube to sell your offer.
Okay. On Shopify.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So tell me now that we have some clarity on your core product offer. Oh, wait, let's swing back up to the top.
Okay.
So, do you have an idea of your offer price? How much do you think you want to sell this ebook for? And don't feel glued to it because as you add value, the price can go up.
I was gonna say between 33 and $44.
Perfect. Okay. So, write down your price. And then remember, when you're creating your offer, you have to make sure one that it's delivering on the value proposition, but two, make them feel like they're underpaying for the value that you're giving, right? Like you gave them so much offer that this $44 is like absolutely nothing. I would have paid you 100 for this.
Ah, okay. Understood.
Mhm.
So that's why the bonuses are good because it'll help amplify what they pay for it. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and you don't even have to share the bonuses off the bat, right? Like, can you, like, don't you feel so excited when you buy something and you don't even know that it's got all these extra stuff? And you're like, oh my God, now I feel like I've gotten even more out of it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So you can add some bonuses that you don't even tell them about. And then, so like for Drip, I didn't say that I was giving people like free digital products that they could create their own thing. I didn't tell people I'm giving them a workbook added, right?
Yeah.
After a while, I might tell them, but in the beginning, these are like secret bonuses that when they find out about them, they're like, oh my God, this was a delightful
Everything.
surprise.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So we've got your offer price. And then have you thought about what you want to name this ebook yet?
Crossing the river.
I love that. Okay, write down the name. Did this give you some more clarity about your offer?
It did, and it already has me thinking about the workbook. I think like I'll probably end up offering like when I do my at some point like my sound bowl videos and my recordings, send that as a bonus structure, send over some meditations, send over the affirmation cards, things like that.
Yes, and you know what is a cheat for bonuses as well? If you're already creating YouTube content and you're already doing meditations and stuff on YouTube, you
Mhm.
can go ahead and loop it into the book, right?
Mm,
Like if you're already doing free trainings on YouTube, you can add it to the book. And if you're doing a sound bowl healing on YouTube for everybody, you can link it into the book. And now they're like, oh, we've got resources to use in the book as well.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so that's offer creation. And you can start to see this ebook right now as your core product offer or a,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and
And
then
I have this to go back and create more core products as I grow. Okay, cool.
okay, so let me show you this. Okay, so you see how Drip came out first as just an ebook, right?
Yeah,
Tonight we're about to get into the course.
correct.
So creating this ebook crossing the river, it might just start as an ebook, but then we
But
can
now
turn
you
it
can
into
create a
a course.
class. Yeah, you're creating a class with
Yep,
modules. Understood.
you already know what's going in it. Every single chapter is a different module.
Yeah. And
It's
so
something
then
to
now
think
you have
about.
a course that you can now put and have
It's a
people pay for
course and a book.
in the book.
Now the product suite is getting filled out, right?
And now we in $100.
Oh, okay. The value's going up.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So you're selling the ebook for between 33 to 44. Now we can sell a course from between 100 to 200 to 300, right?
Yes. Yes.
Price is going up. All right. So that's the offer creation. Do you have any more questions about that?
No, I think I have a starting place. I think the starting place is good so I don't overwhelm myself.
Perfect. So the last thing I want to talk to you about are your actionable steps because that is the main reason that you wanted to do this.
Okay.
So to get off, I'm going to give you like a 30-day roadmap. I want you to write down one task that you can do to create your either brand, your product, your service every single day. And you can go ahead and just like write out what you want to do. Or every single day the night before, write
Yeah.
down task that you're going to do to fulfill this offer and get yourself started.
Okay.
I do have one pre-made, but it's not to say that you'll want to do it exactly like this. I let people like decide how they want to do it. But
Hmm.
if you were to follow this one, and I'll give you this one as well,
Hmm.
um, you've already done a lot of this, right? So if you've
Yeah.
already done it, skip to the next day. So
Hmm.
you've got your brand name. We've talked about your niche. You talked about the problem you solve. So you're going to be able to completely breeze through this. And you'll probably jump down to offer creation since we've done all of this, right? So you'll give yourself a few days to write out the book and create the offer. Um, did you have a question?
No, you're fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, so give yourself a few days for offer creation. What I always suggest my clients to do is this one right here, day 13, create a PDF that describes your offer. So everything that we just talked about right now, go ahead and turn this offer into a PDF so that you'll always have clarity on what you're creating, why you're creating it, and everything of that nature.
So basically use the worksheets that you just gave me and make my own PDF version of my specific product.
Yes, it should be a single page PDF, a single page.
Okay. Okay.
Um, And I want to give you an example, but I don't want to hop off this page. Does that make sense though, the PDF of what you want to put on it, or do you want to see a visual example? Because I can also show you.
You can, yeah, you can send me a visual example because my mind is trying to, you can definitely send me you can send it to me though. You don't have to show it to me right now if you don't want to.
Perfect. Okay. So yes, give yourself a few days to create your product, and
Okay.
then by the end of this, you're going to want to choose an email list provider. So this
Mhm.
could look like MailChimp, ConvertKit, anything like this. You want to build an email list,
Oh, okay. So I need an email list provider. Okay. Understood.
which
Okay.
whatever platform you want. But as you're starting to show up on social media, and that's the last thing I want to chat about before I let you go.
Mhm.
Um, as you're starting to show up on social media, you're gonna want to start collecting some names and emails because we don't own our subscribers on YouTube, right? If they shut down your YouTube channel tomorrow, all of that work is gone, all the people are gone, you have no way to get in contact with them.
Yeah. Okay.
So you want to create a cute little workbook. You've seen some of mine because I put them in the group. Cute little workbook, or whatever you want to do, whatever freebie you're going to give your audience so you can get that name and email. And your
Okay.
email list provider is going to help you to collect those names and emails. So that's the significance of that.
So like when you say, for example, like let's say a worksheet right now of where you currently are, they'll put their emails and everything through that, and that is through the email list provider. Is that something I can create through that?
Yeah, yeah. The email list provider will let you create, they call it a form. And it's
Mm-hmm.
basically just where they put in their name and email.
Okay. Okay, but I can make it look cute with like a worksheet or something.
Yeah,
Understood.
so
Okay.
you will tell them when they put in their name and email, they'll receive the worksheet via their email, and the email provider does it.
That's the free ebook that you just made.
Yep,
Okay.
that's how I'm collecting names and emails. So if anything happens to my social media profile, I still own my list. And when you start marketing to your list, that's where the majority of business owner sales come from, their list.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so that is all. You're going to create your offer, and then we're going to work on those masculine structures. As we do the drip course,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to iron out all of the stuff that might be a little murky still.
Okay.
Just focus on creating your offer. And then the last thing I wanted to talk to you about is showing up on your social media platform. Are you
Yeah.
overwhelmed or do we need to stop here?
No, I'm good. Because that I was doing the content until I read your book, and I'm like, look, to get these people, I'm just making videos. So then I pause with that because my time, and I need to stop saying my time is limited. My time is not limited. I have all the time that I need to create whatever it is that I need to create. Okay, but for lameish terms, yes, I have 3 kids. It's just me, and I'm like at this new chapter in my life. So sometimes it is a little, I get overwhelmed because I feel like it's so much that I have to do to make this come to life with such limited time in that constraint. So I'm battling with that. So right now I kind of stopped with the content, although I'm still jotting down my ideas and still down, like if I get a download of a question, I'm writing it down. So I'm still doing that, but I'm just thoroughly creating the actual products. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's good, right? It's good to, if you need to focus on creating the product and just focus on that. However, I will say the benefit of starting to work on that, building that audience now is by the time that product is ready, you've already got a warm audience to sell to.
Okay,
Whereas
so I should start the videos.
yes, because if you only focus on the product, you're going to still have to warm up the audience before you're ready to sell to them. Versus, so
Oh,
did you notice how when I dropped the drip ebook, I was already posting consistently. People already knew who I was. They know, like, and trust me. They're ready to buy.
correct.
Is if you wait, you already created the book, but you don't know if you have anybody who's willing to buy. Now we got to warm them up, and that might take a month or two, right? So
Okay.
we want to warm up the audience while we're creating the product. And this will also help you to know what they need as you're showing up, right? They're going to tell you what they need to be in the product.
Right. Okay, so I should start making my videos. Wow. So maybe slow it down on the product essentially and maybe put some focus on the content creation.
Truthfully, you got to do both. You got to do both. I know,
Okay.
okay, but this is how we can help you with it though. Start creating content that predisposes them to buy the product.
Okay.
So, so if you know that the product is going to help them, give them clarity, start
Yeah.
creating content that talks about what you're going to give them in the product.
Okay.
They
So
already are an
if I know
authority.
I'm going to give clarity, I need to be making a video about paradigm shifting. Okay.
You need
Okay.
to be making videos about answering Anne's problems. So you
Okay.
need to make a list of what Anne's problems are and
Hmm.
start making content that answers her problems.
Okay.
Even
So
if you can only show up once a week, you want to start, all of the content needs to be the solution to Anne's problems.
of Anne's problems. Make a list of Anne's problems. That's the worksheet. Make a list of Anne's problems and make videos to answer each problem.
Yep. So by
Video.
the time that product is ready, they already know that you have the answer to their problem. You've been dropping free value for we don't even know how long.
Understood. Okay, cool. So I do have a finished product of my affirmations that I was gonna do maybe like $4.44 of like 100 affirmations. I can put those on my website now while I'm creating this core product. And that way I can make the videos based on the core product and boom, when I get like what midway or when I answer all of her questions or when I get like midway, then or when I see my following start growing.
You will never answer all of Anne's questions because Anne is you, right? You still have questions where you are now. However, you can answer the questions that you had back then that you now have the solutions to.
Understand.
Mhm.
Understand.
Yep.
Okay.
And you can even start selling your offer before it's done. A lot of experts suggest that people do that. But that just depends on how committed you are to finishing the product, right? So, yeah, a lot of experts say you want to pre-sale before you actually sell to see if there's even a demand for your product. However, However, you just making content is you throwing out hooks for the product.
Okay.
So either or is good.
Okay. Cool beans. All right. That works. So now it's the content. And now I don't need to freak myself out about it. Okay. Because I bought a car like thing because I see people make videos in their car all the time, and I be having these ideas while I'm driving, and I'm like, that's a video. And so, yeah. So it's just me moving from the perfection of what the video needs to look like.
Exactly. And remember, so when we stop making content creation about us and more about the people that we're here to serve, it
Hmm.
becomes a selfless act. And then there's no need for perfectionism. I'm here to
Hmm.
do a service. If I
Yeah.
don't show up, who is going to be impacted by me not showing up and shining my light and offering the medicine, being the answer to their problems, right? So it's
Okay.
not even about, am I going to say the right thing? Am I going to look good enough? No, I must show up because my presence is the answer and solution to Anne's problem. She's waiting for me, right? Think about the old version of you
Yeah.
and the people who showed up online who allowed you to evolve to your next, version.
Okay.
So,
I
yeah.
got it. So that 30-day list that you gave me, was that for the core product or was that for just for me to get going? That's specifically for the core product?
So it can be for anything, for a
Okay,
core product
okay,
or for because it's all encompassing. It has you working on the brand, working on the avatar, and we've just done a lot of that.
okay.
Mhm.
Cool beans.
Yes.
Alrighty.
And then there's the last thing I want to ask you. Like, so you have three kids. Whenever are they in school right now? Do you have time commuting when you drop them off, or are they homeschooled? What does that look like?
So they're all in school, and as you can, they're like in the background, right?
Right.
They are in school, but they're out of school right now. But they are in school, so I do have that time frame of when they're in school. But it's like I have to work my active job as well. Now, I have been blessed enough and shifted my identity that I do have a job where it's not as demanding. So can I find time in between? Absolutely. That is also something that I'm working on. But what I've been doing is trying to build my nights. So like I might have my job during the day because I'm already up at 4:30. That's just to get them together. So there is no waking up earlier than that.
Right. I can already I've already
Like that's just to get them together. So at nighttime, what I've been trying to do is like have a solid from like 8 to 11 kind of thing. And I've been trying to be like compassionate with myself in that too. But no, it's been like actively. So like the other night I was working on a page in the book, but then, I've been halting the other stuff. But now it's like, okay, now that you have the book, you can kind of not necessarily slow down, but kind of do both. Because my time is limited, I don't see myself making 30-minute videos because I have to go back and edit those, right? So my videos, I'm trying to not have longer than 10 minutes. Like they're literal like bloops. Like here's a bloop here, here's a bloop there. You know what I'm saying? Like not something where I'm having to have a whole conversation for a 30-minute video because I just don't have the capacity to do that. So I've been trying to kind of figure out content too. So that's what helped me come up with like the reflections, right? Like, so right now my idea is pretty much to say, have you been looking at yourself? That's a YouTube video. Have you been looking at yourself? I come in, I introduce myself. Okay, have you been looking at yourself? This is the example of what that looks like. Are you tired of being at the same cycle? Well, you've been doing the same thing to get the same results. How do you do something different to get different results? So that is kind of like the meat of my video, maybe giving some of my personal experiences, and boom, that's the video. At least that's how it's coming in my mind.
That's absolutely perfect. So there's no rule on how long the video needs to be. You just have to
Yeah.
show up and offer value, right?
Yeah.
If you show up and offer value in 60 seconds, that's the video. That's
Okay.
it. So
Okay.
the goal of the video is to show up, offer value, and get out of there. It's totally
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
I would just say from now on this journey, try and dedicate at least 1 hour every single day to either creating content or working on the offer.
Okay. Okay.
Just 1 hour. And don't even try and focus on editing the videos, right? I have a
Okay.
channel where I literally just record on my iPhone and then I upload it straight from the phone. There's no editing.
Okay.
So that'll
Okay.
help you to warm up to showing up with your audience.
Okay. So that'll help me. So just like do the video, post it. Don't worry about editing till later on.
Yep, who cares?
Okay.
Especially because if there are not many people watching in the beginning anyway, why are we taking the time to chop it up? Like we're getting
Oh,
comfortable showing up. You're gonna see me here. That's what's most
okay.
important than the special whatever. They just want to
Yeah.
see you show up.
Okay. Cool beans. So I could do that in my car in the mornings, all of these other things. And that's what I've been trying to do. I don't want it to be content right now anyway, where I have to like set up my area. Like that's not what I'm trying to do. I just want to like, here we go.
Yep, you can totally make that happen easy.
So
But yeah,
yes.
that's essentially everything.
Okay, cool beans.
Any more
I
questions?
appreciate you. Thank you so much. Definitely send me those worksheets. And I think I'm gonna work my time on an opportunity for me is really identifying and coming out with her problems. I think I need to spend more time with her. So that can also give me more clarity and that'll also help me fine tune my pillars too.
Perfect. Yes.
I
Okay. This is so good. I know this was like your brand, but I felt like we just like moved something and
We
birthed something.
did. No, we did. Clarity. And so if when, not even if, I keep booking you for coaching calls, is it gonna ship? Like, how does the next couple of calls work?
Yeah. So it essentially we get to build on what we just did, right? So if
Okay.
you move to the next part, we move to the next part. But then also one day you might not want to work on with business, right? One day you want to work on something else.
Okay.
So strategy calls are just this is why I asked you in the beginning, what are your goals right now? And based
Yeah.
on what your goals are, that's what we start working on in the call.
Okay. Cool beans. So it's passive income. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed this, Phasia, and I'm gonna send you your session summary so you've got all the information that we worked on as well as
Okay.
the resources so you can have an action plan to move forward.
Excellent. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I will see you tonight at 8.
I'm so excited. And then if you have any questions at all, message me in DLA and I'll answer all your questions.
Okay. Cool beans. I'm gonna start working on this. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Okay, see you tonight.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.